Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2025, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 78 years of independence, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030, and Viksit Bharat at 2047. As part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing, and on behalf of all the collaborators, we welcome you to today's commemorations and celebrations. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's celebrations and commemorations. Today, on 14th November, every year, it is celebrated as World Diabetes Day, and globally, an estimated 422 million adults were living with diabetes in 2014 compared to 108 million in 1980. The global prevalence of diabetes has nearly doubled since 1980, rising from 4.7% to 8.5% in adult population. This reflects an increase in associated risk factors such as being overweight or obese. Over the past decade, diabetes prevalence has risen faster in low and middle income countries than in high income countries. Diabetes is a major cause of blindness, kidney failure, heart attack, stroke, and lower limb amputation. Healthy diet, physical activity, and avoiding tobacco and alcohol can prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. In addition, diabetes can be treated and its consequences avoided or delayed with medication, regular screening, and treatment for complications. In 2007, General Assembly adopted Resolution 61 by 225, designating 14th November as World Diabetes Day. The document recognized the urgent need to pursue multilateral efforts to promote and improve human health and provide access to the treatment and healthcare education. The resolution also encouraged member states to develop national policies for prevention, treatment, and care of diabetes in line with the sustainable development of their healthcare systems. Diabetes can impact people across all life stages, including childhood, the reproductive years, working age, and older adulthood. The theme of this year's World Health Organization's World Diabetes Day for 2025 is Diabetes Across Life Stages, recognizes that every person living with diabetes should have access to integrated care, supporting environments, and policies that promote health, dignity, and self-management. This campaign emphasizes the importance of a life course approach to diabetes prevention, management, and overall well-being. Diabetes is a chronic disease which occurs when the pancreas does not produce enough insulin or when the body cannot effectively use the insulin it produces. This leads to an increased concentration of glucose in the blood, which leads to hyperglycemia. Type 1 diabetes, previously known as the insulin-dependent or childhood onset diabetes, is characterized by a lack of insulin production. Type 2 diabetes, formerly called as non-insulin dependent or adult onset diabetes, is caused by the body's ineffective use of insulin It often results from excess body weight and physical inactivity. Gestational diabetes is hyperglycemia that is first recognized during pregnancy. A healthy diet, regular physical activity, maintaining a normal body weight, and avoiding tobacco use are ways to prevent or delay the onset type 2 diabetes. Diabetes can be treated and its consequences avoided or delayed with diet, physical activity, medication, and regular screening and treatment for complications. The World Health Organization is one of the many members of the UN family engaged in health related matters, which includes, among others, the Joint United Nations Program on HIV/AIDS, in short known as UNAIDS, the United Nations Population Fund, in short known as UNFPA, in support of reproductive, adolescent, and maternal health, and the health related activities of the United Nations Children's Fund, in short known as UNICEF. So this year, World Diabetes Day, with the theme Diabetes Across Life Stages. Diabetes can impact people across all stages, including childhood, the reproductive years, working age, and older adulthood. The theme for this year's World Health Organization World Diabetes Day, Diabetes Across Life Stages, recognizes that every person living with diabetes should have access to integrated care, supportive environments, and policies that promote health, dignity, and self management. This campaign emphasizes the importance of a life course approach to diabetes prevention, management, and overall well being. Our key messages include diabetes can affect people at every stage of life, from childhood to older age. Diabetes prevention and care efforts must be integrated across life stages, and supporting well being and self care empowers people with diabetes at every age. World Diabetes Day provides an opportunity to raise awareness about diabetes as a critical global public health issue. Join us in raising awareness, spreading knowledge, and creating lasting change for all affected by diabetes and in preventing diabetes. When we look at the global diabetes coverage targets in 2022, World Health Organization member states endorsed 5 global diabetes coverage targets to be achieved by 2030. 80% of the people with diabetes are diagnosed. 80% of the people with diagnosed diabetes have good control of glycemia. 80% of the people with diagnosed diabetes have good control of blood pressure. 60% of people with diabetes of 40 years or older receives statins, and 100% of people with type 1 diabetes have access to affordable insulin and blood glucose self-monitoring. So let's all take a pledge to prevent diabetes and have more physical activity and restrain from all kinds of addictions like smoking, drinking, and junk food. Today, we are also commemorating International Day by Kappa Delta. Which is specially commemorated on November 14 to encourage all kinds of interests that girls have and to inspire them to follow their dreams. It's an initiative that was undertaken by the first sorority in Virginia, Kappa Delta. It is continued in its efforts to foster confidence in girls and young women. Members of the sorority in its different chapters celebrate this day with pomp and vigor every year. On this note, we would like to help girls from around the world live a better life with the help of education and the financial and other academic scholarships from around the globe. And this day is an opportunity for us to explore and share the information to the girls around the world. International Girls' Day came into existence in 1897, more than a century ago. It was born out of an initiative by Kappa Delta, popularly known as KD or KD. The intent behind the creation of this day is to remind girls not to be bogged down by societal norms, but rather to be unapologetically themselves. Through this initiative, KD aims to build the confidence in young women to excel in whichever field they prefer, helping them realize their potential through various guidance programs. It's a quite progressive initiative coming from a time when women weren't allowed to be radical. 4 college students, Sarah Turner White, Julia Tyler Gardner, Wilson Lenora, Ashmore, Blackiston, and Mary Somerville Sparks Henry started the sorority. Millions of women have joined since then, and they have been contributing to its efforts and mentors and volunteers. 2 of KD's major philanthropies include Prevent Child Abuse America and Girl Scouts of the USA. Every year, the sorority hosts various programs from educational events to miscellaneous activities to promote its initiatives. The community at Kappa Delta is inclusive as it welcomes young women from across the nation, irrespective of their races or ethnicities. The sorority believes in diversity and actively endorses it without any qualms. Be it a personal growth or professional, KD leaves no stone unturned. When it came to taking care of its community, the bond of sisterhood and friendship formed at KD is believed to be lifelong, and its members strive to stick together through thick and thin. Today is also commemorated as Children's Day in India, recognized across India to increase awareness of the rights, care, and education of children. This day is also held as a tribute to India's first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, fondly known as Chacha Nehru, among children. He advocated for children to have fulfilled education. He considered children as the real strength of a nation and foundation of society. The nation usually celebrates Children's Day with educational and motivational programs held across India by and for children. India's first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, was born to a family Kashmiri Brahmin on November 14, 1889. His family, who were noted for this administrative aptitude and scholarship, has migrated to Delhi early in 18th century. He was the son of Motilal Nehru, a renowned lawyer and leader of the Indian independence movement. Who became one of the Mahatma Gandhi's prominent associates. Jawaharlal was the eldest of 4 children, 2 of whom were girls. His sister Vijayalakshmi Pandit and later became the first woman president of the United Nations General Assembly. It is believed that Nehru was known as Chacha Nehru by children because he believed that children were the strength of India. However, another story, the former Prime Minister was called Chacha because of his closeness with Gandhi, whom all referred to as Bapu. Hence, people suggested the nickname Chacha for Nehru as he was seen as the younger brother of the Gandhi. So Nehru, under the guidance of Gandhi, turned out to be a leader of India's struggle for independence in 1947. He laid the foundation of independent India as sovereign, socialist, secular, and a democratic republic. For this, Nehru is credited as architect of modern India. After the death of Nehru in 1964, a resolution was passed in the parliament unanimously to honor him, declaring his birth anniversary as the official date of Children's Day. India used to celebrate Children's Day on November 20 every year before 1956 as the United Nations in 1954 had declared the day as Universal Children's Day. Therefore, each year since then, November 14 is celebrated as Children's Day in India to commemorate the birth anniversary of the country's first Prime Minister. So, to mark Children's Day, schools, colleges organize fun and motivational functions. Many prepare a Children's Day speech. In many schools, children are asked to ditch school uniforms and wear party clothes or formal clothes, informal. It's a joyous occasion for all children, parents, and teachers. Today is also commemorated as Operating Room Nurse Day in US, which is celebrated every November 14th, as we cheer for the hard-working nurses who ensure a smooth surgery and contribute to the saving lives around the world. Operating room nurses assist the surgeons by maintaining a sterile environment, preparing the patients, and being alert to assist the surgeon at any point in time. So, from caring patients to preparing operating theaters to sterilizing instruments to assisting the doctors and attending to the families of patients, operating room nurses have a lot on their hands. Nursing is dated as far back as 300 AD and was first used to describe wet nurses in the West. Nurses became a recognized profession when the demand for medical care increased, and of course, the doctors needed helping hands or assistants. When hospitals had to be part of monasteries, the nursing responsibilities were taken up by the nuns and monks. Nursing took a different turn in the 19th century when Florence Nightingale in the West introduced a new system for nursing and hospitals. In 1949, the needs for specialized nurses in operating rooms was recognized, leading to a new department under nursing. Operating room nurses, also called as perioperative nurses, are responsible for care before, during, and after surgical procedures. Over the years, with the advancement in surgical medicine, perioperative nurses now take on different roles. The circulating nurse takes care of the patients during the surgery. The instrument nurse is responsible for keeping instruments sterile, handing them over when the surgeon needs it, and taking count to ensure that surgeon does not leave any instrument in the patient. And the peri-anesthesia nurse takes post-operative care of the patient after recovery. The RN first assistant is the surgeon's assistant who is very qualified in providing extended perioperative nursing care. These crucial roles of nurses were recognized in 1989 by the Iowa state governor and has been celebrated since then. The first surgical operation was performed by Sushruta, an Indian physician, which has introduced the surgery and various procedures to the entire world. Today is also commemorated as National Seatbelt. which is observed annually on November 14. More than 40,000 people are killed in car accidents in the US alone. And imagine what would be the number across the world. And an estimated 4.4 million people sustain injuries that require medical attention. So direct medical costs add up to more than $300 million. Using safety belts helps save lives and minimize the risk of serious injuries. It's a simple act we can all practice whether you are a passenger or the driver. National Seatbelt Day was created to raise awareness and encourage people to wear their seatbelts. Seatbelts have been around since the 19th century. Edward J. Claghorn received the first US patent for safety belts, but his design was not intended for cars. In 1930s, physicians recommended lap belts in their vehicles and suggested manufacturers to do the same in their models. Lap belts were used in public transport like streetcars, preventing passengers from flying out of their seats during accidents. The first vehicle in the US to offer seatbelts as a safety option was the Nash Rambler back in 1950 when the seatbelts were still a novelty. Despite growing evidence that they help save lives and reduce injuries, critics still resisted their use, claiming they were ineffective and may trap passengers if their cars were on fire or submerged in water. In 1958, Saab became the first vehicle manufacturer to fit seatbelts as a standard features. 1 year later, Niels Bohr, Volvo's first chief safety engineer, patented the three-point seatbelt. It improved the rudimentary two-point seatbelt, which sometimes did more harm than good in accidents. After making the three-point seatbelt standard in Sweden, Volvo opened up the patent so that other car manufacturers could adopt this as an essential safety feature in their models. By 1968, seatbelts were a standard requirement in all US manufactured vehicles. Today, seatbelts are a valued safety mechanism in cars, helping to save thousands of lives and several $100 million in medical costs. Today, we are also commemorating the Customer Day with the National DTC Direct to Customer Friday, November 14, which takes place every year exactly 2 weeks before the Black Friday in the US. So this year it takes place on November 14. It is the first national shopping holiday that celebrates and empowers the direct-to-consumer movement, a business model that gets rid of third parties and connects product sellers and service providers directly with their clients, thus offering a faster and much more efficient process and offering more discounts that benefit the consumers. The date right before the Black Friday was chosen to accelerate and support the DTC community and spread the word about it, as there are many options in the market and consumers can get confused when they are about to buy something. When digital native brands such as Bonobos and Warby Parker first appeared on the radar over a decade ago, in the last 2000s, the traditional retail model was forever disrupted. Nowadays, over two-thirds of consumers demand direct connectivity to brands. It's essential to invest in developing long-term relationships with consumers to succeed in a world where, for example, 40% of consumers purchased a direct-to-consume DTC company in 2019. But believe it or not, the basis of DTC traces back to late 1700s, during which time advances in transportation and technology meant a decrease in freight, and people used to consume locally because of geographical advantage. The purpose of DTC was to lower prices for consumers and raise profit for farmers and manufacturers. And even though it worked, DTC only became popular during the late 1990s when it was mainly used by online retailers as the internet kept getting stronger and stronger. Consumers loved the exclusive experience, close relationships they were building directly with product makers regardless of the price they paid. That's why it is said that National Direct to Consumer Friday was founded by everyday people looking to solve everyday problems. DTC bands have taken on the burden of manufacturing, distributing, and marketing their products because they are passionate about finding a better way, and thus they should be celebrated. Today is also commemorated as National Pickle Day on November 14th, as it was created to celebrate the pickle as one of the world's favorite fermented foods. Pickles proved to be preposterously popular with the people across the country and world. The number of pickle eaters is projected to proliferate to more than 250 million by 2023 in the US alone, and that gives plenty of pretext to position November 14th as prime pickle time. The practice of pickling has existed for thousands of years, and the process ensured a degree of preservation otherwise impossible in pre-modern conditions and was essential in providing a mobile supply of provisions for travelers as well as dependable source of nutrition for those living through barren winters. While a diverse set of foods can be pickled, and the cucumber emerges as dominant food that most associate with the idea of both pickling and the word pickle itself. Archaeologists believe that the first evidence of pickled cucumbers originates from Tigris River Valley civilizations and the nutritional benefits of the food would go on, lauded by such historical figures as Cleopatra and Julius Caesar. So, with all their popularity in the old world, pickles would not make their appearance in the North America until 1492. As you may have guessed by the year, the one responsible for the introduction was none other than Christopher Columbus. Pickles were introduced in sailors' rations on his expeditions as a means by which to prevent the onset of scurvy. By the mid 17th century, cucumbers brought from Dutch settlers farming in the New York area were pickled and distributed throughout the region. This would lay the foundation for the territory to be a perfect site for the introduction of kosher deli pickle. In the period of late 1800s and early 1900s, a large number of Eastern European Jews immigrated to the United States and settled in the New York City area. They brought with them the unique methods that produce kosher dill pickles. And these early iterations of pickles would develop into new famous, ever familiar food available in the grocery stores throughout the US and across the world. Today is also commemorated as Spicy Guacamole Day in US and counterparts. So grab a chip and prepare some heat. And on November 14th, no longer solely the choice of Super Bowls and Berchos, Spicy Guac has been making big moves through the culinary scene, from party dips to burgers and everything in between. There's always a reason for spicy guac, so pick some avocados and get mashed because it's healthy as well. National Spicy Guacamole Day falls during the prime football season, where the stuff is consumed by the pounds on tortilla chip vessels as a critical game time snack. It's easier to grab guac from your neighborhood chip bowl. But rather than doing that, grab a couple of avocados, some spicy peppers, and try out the old mortar and the pestle. For added effect, throw on some salsa music and have a solo dance party to celebrate your delicious dip. Grab your friends a few pounds of avocados and cerrados and hit the kitchen, making guacamole in a fine and dandy and sharing it even better. But a friendly competition to see who really has the lowdown on the best kick in God's recipe that takes the mold. Put your throwing arm to the test with this spin on the classic pie in the face instead of sugar and whipped cream. Indulge in a face full of spicy, salty, justy guac. What better to sample dips from the guac off than by seeing who can make a fistful of green stuff in the face? Spicy guacamole can be healthy if you are unsure of guacamole because of the high concentration of fat in avocados. Fear not, avocados are an excellent source of monosaturated fat, the good kind, and they are also rich in vitamin C, E, and K. Bonus, the peppers make spicy guac well spicy are rich in vitamin A and C, and as well as potassium and antioxidants. So dip up. And spicy guac goes well with anything. You don't need a tortilla chip to enjoy spicy guac. Grab some carrots, cucumber, or even a whole cut platter to dip in the stuff, or better up, throw it on a burger or a zesty south of broader split. Today is also commemorated as National Family PG Day, which is celebrated on November 14th to remind us that the real comfort lies in spending time with our family as we rock our matching PJs, that is, pajamas. Loving known as PJs or jammies, are worn as a loungewear or nightwear in distinct parts of the world. For Americans, PJs are ultimate comfort wear. Encourages all to pull out their favorite jammies out of the closest and lounge with their families. The warm comfort of pajamas is a departure from our tight skirts and suits that fix routines, and the loving embrace of our families an escape from the world. And these are popular all parts of the world and have a footing in several cultures. South Asia is credited for creating and popularizing the traditional pajama set, and the word pajama or pajama is derived from the Hindi word pajama, which translates to leg clothing. The usage of the word dates back to Ottoman Empire in the West. There was a time when the West scoffed off at the idea of wearing a top and bottom linen pajama set because of its informality. The tides began to change in early 20th century when French designer Coco Chanel introduced baggy trousers and loose-fitting tops in her clothing line. Soon enough, the rejects of past became the top adornment of the high class. From beaches to the movies, women rocked pajamas everywhere, and the perception regarding ill-fitted clothing took a turn in the US. The British colonials introduced pajamas in England after being influenced by the nightly attire of Indians, which is an Indian invention. Coco Chanel introduced pajamas for the woman as an ideal replacement for nightgowns and nighties. Before the 50s, pajama sets came with flapjacks on the back for bathroom emergencies. Flap and dump. In Japanese and Chinese culture, it's acceptable to wear silk pajamas in public at any time of the day, as Asia takes the lead. In the early 20th century, men and women wore pajama sets to the beach. As comfort is for everyone, there's no other feeling quite like wrapping up a hard day at work and switching your formal clothes for a pair of warm and soft pajamas. The annual celebration rekindles our love for this amazing form of clothing that places comfort over everything else. And buying matching pajamas in November is a great way to ring up upcoming season as the green leaves turn into crimson and we are reminded of our roots and our ultimate comfort zone, our family. Slow the pace of your life, slip into matching jammies and recount the passage of the year. Jammies come in all shapes and sizes. There's one for every mood. While the celebration is largely about reconnecting with your family, it doesn't have to get creative with our options and sweat our best pigeons. today is also commemorated as National Donor Sabbath Day in November 14th, and especially in US and counterparts, which is observed 2 weekends before the Thanksgiving Day from November 14th to November 16th this year. The concept behind this day is to unite different people of different religions while learning how to save a life by donating vital organs to those in need. Our world is a land of great diversity, especially US, where there are people from different races, backgrounds, and nations, those still developed, known as a developed nation, but there might be huge differences in their lifestyles and ideals. But one thing all these people have in common is belief in humanity or human kindness. So, which is a 3 day of observance of prayers, worship, and coming together of the leaders of different faiths, participate in service programs and initiatives. Time is taken to talk about the importance of to participate and public need of saving lives through organ and tissue donation. Organ donors transfers lives to others via transplantation. So the recipient has a chance of a full long life, free of diseased organs such as kidneys, hearts, and even eyes. These organs are donated by the families of loved ones who pass away in accidents and the like, with their organs intact. Thus, giving people with organ problems is a second chance in life. Register yourself as an organ donor. One is himself willing to donate his organs to anyone who needs them at the time of his death. So register yourself as donor and encourage others to do the same. The idea is to make people aware about how many people can benefit from our organ donations. If you yourself are not much of a presenter, invite a representative of faith or the donor movement to come deliver a presentation. Gather your friends and colleagues to encourage them to attend this session like we are doing it online. You can also have online and offline or even a hybrid mode. There be someone in your area or local social circle who has a story to tell about organ donation, either as a donor or a member of donor recipient family. Invite them over to share their story to encourage others and inspire others around you. In US itself, there are around 120,000 people in the need of life-saving donor transplants that are on long waiting list. According to data, 22 people die each day in the US itself because of lack of organs available for transplant. Research has shown a single healthy family or single healthy donor has the potential of saving and healing the lives up to 75 lives. So organs such as kidneys and tissues, such as stem cells, are harvested from living donors and transplanted to the recipient in piggyback operations. They don't have to die to donate. Today, we are also celebrating organ donors. Has been done by the people such as and space shuttle specialist Jake Khan, who donated a kidney to his daughter, and so many celebrity organ donors. So observing these days and by participating in the services offered in our community, we can help spread the awareness about the need to make such donations. Our efforts and participation can cause a chain reaction. In countless lives can be saved. Today, it's also commemorated as American Teddy Bear Day in a national level in US on November 14th. Teddy bears have been our comfort bed pals since our childhood. We give them names, hug them while we sleep, and take them everywhere with us. These soft, furry friends are a reminder of childhood. Teddy bears came in different sizes, colors, and materials and have been a popular toy choice since their creation in the early 20th century. Teddy bears were originally made from mohair fur. Mohair is obtained from goats combed, woven, and trimmed to form a fur covering for the bears. Now, teddy bears are commonly made with velours, satin, denim, and synthetic fur. Art pieces have been made featuring teddy bears. In 1907, a composer, John Walter Bratton, wrote an instrument titled The Teddy Bear's Picnic. Lyrics were added later in 1932 by Jimmy Kennedy. A children's book series based on the bears were written by Seymour Eaton, an American educator. Teddy Bears appeared on TV in the 1990s, and there was Teddy Ruxpin, Super Ted, and Winnie the Pooh. Teddy bears have emotional and mental effects on kids. The calming effects that teddy bears have on children led to the introduction of the Teddy Bear Corps program, where police officers, fire and medical officials give a distressed child a teddy bear at a time of crisis. So teddy bears are a symbol of love, care, and hugs. They are shared gifts to show care and love, especially on birthdays and special occasions. So teddy bears were made with mohair, wool, and were totally unwashable. While the teddy bears we have now, the cuter, more cuddly, the older versions were made to look exactly like a real bear with extended snouts and round, shiny eyes. This depends on the age category of the child, how to select a teddy bear for a child. The fur is important if you are gifting a baby or a toddler. Always go with a short pile fur that they can't bite off and swallow. Brown, blue, pink, and white are common colors for teddy bears for children. Go for a washable bears with CE marks. The world's largest teddy is 55 feet 4 inches tall, stitched bear. Is named City Dreams and have been standing tall in Wichita, Kansas since 2008. This world's smallest teddy was created by Charles Morse. The minute bear is just 0.29 inches tall. The first use of teddy bear by the Oxford English Dictionary is dated to 1906. So teddy bears have been trademarks of love and care. By celebrating and sharing them, we are showing the care to others. Today is also commemorated as Loosen Up, Tighten Up Day in US on November 14th, which is perfect for you. The day presents an opportunities that for you to take break for your usual busy schedule and all the stressful thoughts and instead focus on being happy and relaxed. And Lulu Day is our cure for burnouts and breakdowns. Loosening up is known to help us control our anger and keep a smile on your face, in spite of whatever happened during a stressful day. Stress is a hormonal response to physical, mental, or emotional strain on our body. As human beings, we are prone to stress due to our activities and responsibilities. These stress factors can trigger anxiety, depression, anger, or health issues, such as high blood pressure, heart failure, and a weakened immune system. So not only is Lulu Day fun, it is a therapeutic and a medication-free way of dealing with Mr. Stresses and his health issue friends. While stress cannot be avoided, it can be reduced. Many relaxing methods have been employed to relieve stress and lighten up a person's mood. Meditation, for one, dates back to thousands of years ago, but was popularized during the 20th century. This activity is known to reduce the heart rate and has a number of health benefits associated with it. Taking up a recreation activity or hobby is also a great way to lighten up. These activities keep our minds focused without having to think about stressful matters. Exercise and sports activities are also stress relieving methods. Lulu Day is the best enjoyed with family members and friends with ground rules, no serious matters, no stressful activities, and no worries. Today is also commemorated as Canterbury Anniversary Day on every second Friday of the first Tuesday in November as a regional holiday in Canterbury region within the New Zealand. It takes place on November 14th. It was first observed on December 16th, 1850, to honor the arrival of the first four ships from England to coincide with the Christchurch Shore. This date was shifted to second Friday of the first Tuesday in November. The Canterbury region's establishments is commemorated on this day and activities are held all around the region. However, most of the celebrations takes place in Christchurch. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations. Thank you everyone for joining us in today's celebrations and commemorations. If you have any feedback, we request everyone to fill the feedback form and share your details through the feedback. See you all tomorrow at the same time with the same joining link with different commemorations and celebrations. Take care. Good night. Before leaving, we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form.